Okay, listen up here, you evil chuds, you evil Nazis. You just crossed the line. Because everyone knows that Dark Souls and other similar type of soul games have always been primarily gay-focused, queer-coded, and pretty non-binary at the bare minimum always. You can see it everywhere in Elden Ring. God, these people are actually purely insane, aren't they?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have for you today one of the craziest articles I think I've read in a long time. And it is a massive level of cope regarding Lords of the Fallen developers saying that, they're not going to do DEI, they're not going to do politics, socio-political messaging, and all that stuff in their video games. Well, of course, the games journalists who believe that they could just have so much media literacy that they understand the deeper and the much more refined discussions around video games and whatnot. They're the ones that need to tell you exactly what's happening with the story because you're just a chud who
Typical, completely self-centered, unhinged behavior that you know everything always better, and anyone who disagrees with you is just worse and stupider than you. Also, you're worse and stupider than me if you disagree, obviously, because media literacy is high up right here, you know? You feel me?
who can't see it. While these people, when they hear developers say, yeah, we're not going to do DEI in our games, they take that as there's going to be no social political messaging whatsoever, even in a fantastic story. They do it so much to the point where this.
Oh, what do you mean there's going to be no story about trans struggles and issues in a game where the world is falling apart and barely anyone is left alive? Oh, how is that possible? Is that even illegal at this point? Yep, that's unironically them. But to be fair, this has existed for such a long time. This happened, by the way, before gaming. For some reason, these communities, the gay community, the trans community, all of these plus alphabet communities have always had this insane need and want to make and rewrite everything in history in reality that it somehow always was about them. It was always gay to begin with and whatnot. They have tried to do this with history. Vikings, Egypt, I mean, Mesopotamia even to a degree, Jesus. You know, the next thing that we're gonna hear is the Epic of Gilgamesh was actually all about a gay romance. That's where we are. And they have been doing this for years. And now they're just taking this same concept to gaming. They want to rewrite everything that, StarCraft? The Brood War? That was always a trans analogy, you bigot. That's what they do. They want to rewrite everything to be actually of their origin.
This particular journalist is now coming out and saying that the Souls games are inherently gay.
What? What's that? Oh no, not again.
We work hard. We play hard.
Oh no, oh no, oh no. Einstein,
what the hell?
Gay undead bird?
I don't know.
Bro. That's something special.
I shit you not, ladies and gentlemen, this idiotic journalist is literally going to tell you right now in this article that these Souls games are inherently queer. They're so queer. They're so gay. And you just don't know it because...
I mean, have you seen Ortstein and Smaug or whatever their stupid names are? One's fat. That's so gay. You can't make this up because this is serious. I'm laughing about this, you're laughing about this, but these people are serious. They are legitimately 100% convinced in this. They are beyond serious.
You can't see it. You are a chud. The coffin that allows you to go from male to female, that is strictly there to allow the player to have the ability to change their sex. No, that's not there. It truly is just a meaning for trans people.
Obviously.
That's what it really means.
Obviously.
I swear. These people are idiots. So let's get into this article, guys, from The Gamer. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly
appreciate. And remember, when you're having these discussions, if anyone asks, Tolkien's orcs are a black allegory, obviously, because Tolkien loved allegories.
Appreciate it and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. The headline reads, Lords of the Fallen Dev is wrong about politics, and Elden Ring proves it. And then he says that developer CI Games recently pledged that it won't include social and political elements in its games going forward because players do not appreciate this. It's a flimsy argument that caters to a very angry but vocal minority of players. Oh, now we're apparently a minority of players. The other day, we were like a massive majority because we were killing all the games. Now we're a vocal minority. These guys can't make up their mind. Anyway, it's a flimsy argument that caters to the very vocal minority. Looking at inspirations proves how little weight this narrative.
God, I am so tired of this. At first, this was funny, by the way. I had a laugh, you had a laugh, we all had a laugh. When these people were constantly 2 years ago or a year ago making these articles about, oh, these haters, they are just a very, very vocal minority that don't impact anything, but at the same time, if they don't like something, it dies some magically. How they have no power, yet they have all the power to choose what thrives or dies at the same time. Now it's just getting sad, because the reality of all of this woke nonsense is they don't see the very blatant contradictions in their ideologies and their ways of thinking. And this is, again, just one way of it. They can say one thing because they don't apply the rules evenly, okay? These people will apply something to them, but refuse to apply it to you, even though there's no reason why it doesn't apply to you. They will not apply some kind of rule to themselves, but for you, you must follow that, or it's pretty much congratulations. We're back in Middle Europe, and, you know, some farmers ate a little bit of rice with mycelia, and now it's the witch trials all over again. It's just crazy.
It has social political undertones are at the roof of every Souls-like. Then he goes on a tangent, right? He goes on a tangent because here's what these people do. They take a story, right? They take a story and they tear it apart to its most basic form. And then they take that basic form. It's if a social political message in it. They take the basic form and then they exacerbate it. They take it and they run with it, right?
Yep.
So in this case, you know, Souls-like having ideas of classism in it, suddenly that makes it all about it, right? So it can't just have ideas in there about classism and mixing it into a great epic story. No. It has to be about classism. It is a story about classism, and it is literally telling you about classism in the United States of America. That is what it's doing, and that's how these people think. Dark Souls is incredibly overt in its critique of classism. Humanity is subjugated by a ruling elite who has hoarded Lord Souls for themselves, selfishly coveting power and wealth. When we first arrive at Anor Londo, its lavish splendor stands in stark contrast to the dingy, run-down burgs below that have been left.
Now, the irony, of course, of this statement is hilarious, and that is, okay, what is the alternative to this? Can more people do this? What do you mean? Should everyone just share it? That wouldn't obviously work, plus that's like a communism thing. So, double obviously wouldn't work. Like, what is the solution to this situation? There is none. They're just complaining about what is. But there is no alternative, and they refuse to admit that.
In complete disrepair. This uneven divide between humanity and the upper class is made abundantly clear the moment the bat demons drop us at the entrance. And it's a theme that only grows throughout the trilogy and into the spiritual successors like Bloodborne and Elden Ring. Great. Fantastic. Amazing. It doesn't make it the whole story. It doesn't make it all about classism, right? You guys are, again, you're stripping the story. You're stripping a well-told, very thought-out story with so much lore to it that you have to explore the world, look at the items, and understand things.
That's where they can actually get away with it, because the average player has no idea about the Dark Souls story. I have watched videos about it even, and then it's kind of all a messy blur. The reality is, you can get away with this stuff because I would say maybe 95% of the Dark Souls Elden Ring player base don't know what's actually happening or why it's happening or what means.
To piece it together, you are taking...
Now, pieces you understand, obviously, clearly, but overlaying story, again, no one understands that almost.
Taking that story, and then you're trying to turn it into a story only about classism. That is ridiculous, but this is what they do. Then he says that we see the poor living in the sewers while self-described gods manufacture propaganda and false prophecies to coral the undead into sacrificing themselves to continue their age of opulence and greed. Gwyn, the head of this pantheon, fears humans as their sheer numbers are a potential threat to his rule. So he manipulated the pygmies into seeing themselves as lesser, elevating himself to divine status so that he would never threaten him. He is their god after all, and who would dare kill a god? Classism and how religious dogma can be manipulated as a means of control is a core theme throughout From Software games, as are the inevitable dangers of greed and selfishness that wealth is built upon.
You can literally, by the way, twist this all to communism so easily. It's not even funny. You can.
Again, I want you guys to understand something. They are taking all these elements and they are trying to exacerbate each element separately and then try to sell you the idea that this is totally about what happens in real life, right? This is totally, you just don't have the media literacy to understand. You're just a stupid chud, right? All you saw was a great story. Oh, no. Let me explain to you what this story is actually about, because I'm the journalist and I know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, let's get to the good stuff. I really want everybody to understand the best part about this article. This is what This is what I want to talk about. Soulsborne games have always been queer. I thought to myself, oh, I can't wait. I cannot wait to see how this journalist spins this. Here we go. Classism and religious dogma are just one aspect of Dark Souls and later From Software titles. They are also deeply queer. Yes, these games are so gay.
Damn
They're
right.
so unbelievably gay.
I mean, look at this. That's actually a man, baby. Yeah, that's a man. Holy shit. It's
the moment you turn the game on, you are inundated with gay. That's how gay these games are. They're deeply rooted in it. Demon Souls.
Yeah, when you started Dark Souls, by the way, what woke you up was the sounds of gay sex. True.
Originally had gender-locked armor or a gear that would alter depending on your gender. But Dark Souls scrapped that idea entirely just 2 years later. This marked a huge shift for Soulsborne games as a whole, as From Software began to move away from gender conformity entirely. Are they moving away from gender conformity, or are they just simply trying to make the game a little bit more accessible gear-wise? See, this is my problem. These journalists look at gameplay elements that are in there to try to make the game more accessible and a little bit more easier in terms of cosplaying and setting up your character the way exactly that you want, or...
Yeah, effectively what they are doing, they are taking the lowest of low arguments. For example, I'm just gonna make up something on the spot, and that's effectively what they're doing. They're gonna call a game gay and designed by gays because of all the nudges that they have. For example, that your character steps forward with their left foot first when starting to walk from a stationary position, and research says that 70% of gay people start walking with their left foot. Yeah, and that's it. That's their proof. That's the reason. It is insane. They take the most minorest, randomest of things and just make it that it represents them, and that is a secret nudge that everyone making this game was gay or trans or bi or whatever.
For some aspects, there are certain gear that when it's put together with other builds might work really well, but the problem is they were gender locked, right? Let's say you had a certain hat, a witch hat, that was only meant for females, but you had a really good build put together and you want to use that hat. You can't because your character is male and not female, so they removed it entirely so that way you could set your build up regardless of what your gender is. This is not about gender conformity. This is quite simply about gameplay elements and making it easier to put builds together, you dumb motherfucker. And then it says in Dark Souls, Gwendolyn is referenced by male pronouns and is even described as a brother, but he was raised as a girl due to his affinity for the moon. We see this represented by his feminine clothing and his character model's actual body, furthering the idea
that's the snakes that we saw previously up there.
That he is not gender conforming, but he is handled with the same sincerity as every other character in the game, never mocked or degraded. We saw elements of this in Elden Ring and Michaela, who is also ambiguous in their appearance. Let it be known that Gwendolyn is a boy. He is a boy. It doesn't matter if he was raised as a girl. It doesn't matter if he wears feminine gear. He is a boy. This is how the Japanese do it. There are many characters that are in the Japanese known as femboys, but they are still boys at the end of the day. They don't believe in that trans shit. They are boys. But you guys are misunderstanding what these Japanese people are actually putting into their stories. If you want another example, you can.
I don't remember the story because it's literally been years. But there was also something about that character wanting to keep the secret of his sister, and that's why he keeps on doing what currently is happening, or something like that. Maybe I'm wrong. It's been literally forever. I don't remember the story at all at this point because I don't care about the Dark Souls series in general too much, honestly. But I think there was something about that.
Go look at Vinland Saga. Towards the end, there is a new character that's introduced that is obviously a male, right? But it was raised as a female to avoid putting them in war because boys were put into war.
The king's, he's talking about the youngest son of the king.
I'll let you guys figure that out from there. But still, it is a male character. It has always been.
Also, I just want to say, Vinland Saga is a lot overrated in my opinion. I liked it, but was it the best thing ever? No? Maybe I'm missing the appeal, but I think people are overhyping Vinland Saga.
Reference as such, and all they did was change the name and keep the name in order to protect that person so they don't get thrown into war. It's a thing that happens in Japanese culture and stories, and you guys are trying to twist it to be a trans idea, and it's so ridiculous. Now here's the part that really fucking pissed me off, okay? This shit right here drove me insane. It says Dark Souls 2 allows you to change your gender at any time via the coffin, ergo allowing you to play as a trans character, and its penultimate boss, the Throne Watcher, is referenced to by male pronouns in the English translation despite having a feminine body. But fuck the second part. Wait, so you mean to tell me it's a gameplay element that allows you to change your sex in order to make it easier for you to go from male to female so you don't have to re-roll a character, that suddenly makes you a trans character?
Damn
this
right.
person was like, ergo, that makes you a trans character. So clearly, this is a trans analogy. You know, it's like, you are...
Everything at the end of the day is... There is nothing you can do that's normal without these people finding a way to make it not that. I mean, the experts at least had this, right? Anyway, 10 out of 10. That was hypnotic. Have a nice day. Bye!